Welcome back, everybody. It's Skidge and Sticky Whiskey here.
Sticky Whiskey.
In the Foxburger. Dave, hot as shit outside.
It's hot as shit outside.
You love it, though,
dude.
don't you?
I do. I love. I'm Greek, and I just love the warm weather.
Bathe in
from California.
Yeah, you guys are just used to this beautiful sun, and you just. That's why you're such a. Yeah, you look like a Greek god, dude.
Yeah, it powers the engine,
Yeah, absolutely.
The engine that is Sticky.
Speaking of Greece, I was thinking the other day, dude. Where would I travel, right? I would love to say I'm a big traveler, but not yet, right? But it really intrigues me. I'm really interested in it. And I'm thinking to myself, all these lavish, pictures and videos. Where would Skidge go, right? If he could go anywhere. Maldives.
Mm-hmm. Maybe, Venezuela.
Bora Bora.
Belize.
Bali.
Moscow.
Paris.
So many places.
Yeah. No, Dave. I was thinking more of Serbia.
Interesting choice.
Now, Serbia, as we all know, or might not know, it's landlocked concrete jungle, right? Right, Dave?
Well, is it? I don't know. Is it?
No, it's not. It's, it's engulfed in some pretty valleys, some beautiful nightlife.
Wonderful cafes, maybe.
Cafes, beautiful river that runs through Serbia. So, yeah, I'm interested, right? I'm going to give you a little background on Serbia for those who are not, it's one of those Balkan countries that people kind of,
kind of skips the radar.
Right? Novak Djokovic, for you sports heads out there, he's Serbian. He's a beast. Dave, do you know about him?
Tennis player, right?
Yeah, he's a beast. Have you ever seen him? You know what they call him, Dave?
They call him the Great Tile.
No, dude. No.
They call him They call him Little Bear.
No. The Joker.
Okay.
I think that's cool. Anyway, Serbia is also known for Nikola Tesla. Everyone in that radio that you're probably listening to right now all stem from Mr. Tesla. Dave, what do you know about Tesla?
I know that he's got some cars out right now through
pretty cool cars
through old Elon.
Yeah. Belgrade. Serbia is known for Belgrade. Dave, what do you know about Belgrade?
Well, it doesn't even hit the map for me. Like when I'm thinking of places I want to travel, I'm not like, or I'm thinking of like cool cities I want to go to. Yeah. I never think of Belgrade. But
it always pops up in like movies, random movies, Belgrade.
But I never know. I blank it out.
So I look up. They're known for their nightclubs. Like they're really well-developed nightclubs. Well, but when I think of Serbian nightclubs, Dave, I think of some like underground, shady, like
XXX.
Yes, dude, exactly. The light shining and bright, like half-naked women running around.
Vin Diesel's
in there drinking like. It's probably vodka, but it's like native to like Serbia. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So yeah, the last thing that everyone should know that is native to Serbia is something called splavs.
Splav?
Dave, are you familiar with a splav?
Well, it sounds like a mistake.
Yeah. Well, no, this is quite the opposite, Dave. This is not a mistake. Splavs are very much
the right thing.
The right thing. So what a splav is, you're hitting the streets of Belgrade, dude. You're with your boys. You're having a good night. You roll down the street. You see this beautiful river running through Serbia. And then you notice this big platform, this big, huge building that's floating on the water. You know what that is, Dave? That's a nightclub. And that's what a splav is. So I guess in Serbia, splaving is a thing.
Well, hold up. I need to interject.
Yeah.
You're telling me that a splav, which sounds like somebody mispronouncing something,
yes,
is actually a floating disco nightclub.
Correct.
Holy shit.
I don't know where I need to sign up.
Where have we been?
Yeah.
I'm over here like carving my existence out in suburbia.
I don't know if I should be
nightclubs?
Pissed off or more surprised, because how did I miss out on floating disco nightclubs?
Oh my God.
There's nothing there. Is there anything to me, there doesn't seem like anything is better in life.
I mean, God, there's Nothing better in life.
Dave, you get through the security and you're on a floating nightclub, Dave. Are you feeling it?
I mean, dude, I've worked hard at my work all week. Really head to the grindstone.
Yeah.
I just want to go out, walk the gangplank.
Yeah.
Leading up to a floating disco nightclub that's going to take me down the Danube River.
With the moonlight. That's beautiful.
And just beautiful Serbian women.
Everywhere.
Whoa.
Once again, I don't know where I need to, but I'm out.
That's powerful, exotic.
So yeah, not the Maldives right now. I'm going to Serbia.
This is unexpected.
Yeah.
This is all unexpected, but I'm looking at tickets right now.
Yeah.
And you guys should too. But in all seriousness, Serbia has more to offer than just splavs. Like he said, it's got a great countryside. It's got wonderful people, very hospitable people there.
The castles, it's beautiful.
A lot of rich history and heritage. A couple of Roman emperors hail from there. But it's also been through a lot. It's a fractured state. It was once belonged to what is now known as the former Yugoslavia. But 4 wars tore that nation apart, and that's how Serbia was created. And what happened back then is still readily apparent today.
Absolutely. The corruption.
Yeah.
The greed, the hate between the 4 fractured countries from Yugoslavia. I mean, it's just been a constant turmoil.
But, we won't bore you with the details because we brought in a guest today that tells it better than we ever could.
We're better than we could even imagine, and we're really excited for this.
A lot of fun in this episode. So please put your hands together for our friend, Dusan.
I was walking down the street on an April night in 1999, and it was dark, really dark, because there's no electricity at all. There's no street light. There's no light at all. You use the flashlight to walk around. A couple of my friends and myself were walking down the street going home from our friend's house, and all of a sudden this night became a day, like in a matter of seconds. There was a big flash, and all of a sudden there's a bright light, like it's midday. And the first thought that came to our mind is like, the electricity is back, like we're good. Well, that's awesome. But we figured out that the power is not back. It's only the light coming from far away, and it's like brightening this April night. And we figured out that they hit the petrol refinery, that it's close to my hometown. My name is Dusan, and welcome to Intangibles Adventures.
Who hit you?
That was the NATO bombing of 1999. So the NATO had airstrikes on my country in 1999 from 26th of March till, I think it was like 92 days. So like mid-June.
Of just constant bombing?
Constant bombing of my country, yep.
Who was bombing you?
NATO.
Okay. Who's in charge of NATO? What is exactly?
NATO is an alliance of the Western countries that was created after World War II to kind of protect the innocent and keep the peace in the rest of the world.
Oh. So why were they bombing? Why were they bombing Serbia?
Well, they bombed it because of the war of Kosovo and everything that was happening in the Kosovo at that time. So they were doing the they call it an action of bombing the country to make the president of the country allow NATO to come to Kosovo and observe what was going on in that part of Serbia.
Now, what part of Serbia are you from?
I'm from South Serbia, from the city named Niš.
There's a Niš, France as well, right?
That's Nice.
Oh,
Nice.
okay.
This is Niš.
And remember, it's niche, not niche.
Niš.
Yeah.
So you're
And
actually from niche.
I'm actually from Niš. And Niš, or you can say it Nisus, because Nisus is a Roman town where Constantine the Great, Roman Emperor, who recognized Christianity, was born.
Oh.
So he was born in my hometown, yeah.
Nices.
Nisus, yes.
So what was it like growing up there? What was like life there? What year were you born?
I was born in 1979.
Okay.
And it was actually great, even though we went through a lot of shit. In 10 years, we went through 4 wars, but even so, the growing up was good for us. We made it be good for us. We made it nice. We made it through going through all that nonsense that was happening around us. We find.
What would you say your
goodness inside.
social standing was? Were
Oh,
you
poor.
Poor?
We were poor.
You're not afraid
like
to say
not
that.
for the
Yeah.
first
How poor?
for the first I would say 12 years of my life. It was great. When it was Yugoslavia, it was great. It was perfect. Everyone was wealthy. Even the ones that you think they're in a lower status, that they didn't have that much money, they still had a good life. Not great life, but good life.
Right.
Once the war started, even the ones in the so-called middle class were poor. Like when I say poor, I mean you don't have money to buy basic stuff so you can survive, like food. I used to wait in lines for like hour and a half to get one loaf of bread and 64 ounces, of milk. That's all you can buy. There's nothing else in the store.
That's the only option you had?
That's the only option you have
Bread
in the
and
store.
milk.
Bread and milk. There's
Do you use
nothing
money, or
else.
do you use like a credit of sorts, or like?
No, you use money,
Okay.
but
But it's not worth anything.
of course, because imagine like this: you get the salary one night, and you can buy for that salary, for example, a pound of meat. Tomorrow morning, for that same amount, you cannot even buy matches.
Wow.
So you're saying-
That's how much inflation was going
I was
on.
going to say
Overnight.
inflation is literally by
It
the
was like
Yeah.
going crazy. You have
not
videos.
months, but days.
Last night I was buying New York Strip. Today I can't even afford paper
New York
clips.
Strip? That's prime, bro. No.
Yeah. They don't even know what New York
You
Strip
don't-
is.
They
bro.
don't know what New York Strip
Yeah,
is.
are you crazy?
Just like basic on some pound of meat. Like, no.
No.
You don't.
So
you
how
don't have
long
that.
did you eat like that? How long was that?
Well, that was like for a good year and a half, maybe 2.
Right.
And then something's changed, but we were still poor in a sense of you have basic stuff and that's it. You cannot
You had a
afford
bed, a toilet.
lot. Like imagine like this: 60% of your population cannot afford to go to a vacation. They don't have for basic stuff. They literally surviving day by day.
Wow.
When you have a meal with the with meat in it, that's a holiday. That's great.
that was like a delicacy.
It's like
Any
that's
meal
the
with
delicacy.
meat. Wow.
Yes. So it's like, whoa, what happened today? How do we get this? How do we get meat into the food? Basically, some days you would literally wake up and your breakfast is bread and some jam and that's it. A glass of milk and that's it.
Were you always hungry?
Well, I cannot recall because, as I said, we made the best out of it, and my grandma and my grandfather and my mom made the best of it. What you have in a house, you cook something, so everything was delicious for us. And
Anything you could get was delicious.
anything you get, it's delicious.
Yeah. You ever been
because
hungry?
they're cooking.
You'll eat anything.
Thank you.
Oh, absolutely, dude.
Thank you. So when they're cooking something, they're putting all this stuff in, and they're putting all this seasoning and stuff. So everything is delicious. So
Because
you
you've
don't
never-
feel the hunger in that sense. But I didn't personally. But there are so many people that were super hungry.
Yeah.
We saw videos, and there was constantly on TV. Imagine someone parking a big pickup truck, or even that, a big U-Haul truck, open the door, and just throw loaves of bread and people fighting over that loaf of bread.
It reminds me of Apocalypse.
Yeah.
Like everything. It's like rationed.
Or like World War II.
Yeah,
you know,
like everything's rationed.
Then you realize where you're at, what's happening, what's around you. I was fortunate that I was in Serbia, that until 1999 didn't get that much buildings that were torn apart, that would had holes from the bullet and stuff like that. That was more in Bosnia and Croatia. But in 1999, we felt how that looks like, because there were a lot of buildings that were torn down. There were so many holes from bombing, and the whole that thing is like a chaos, and people are afraid, and you actually feel that fear in everyone. People are telling you don't go out, like go into the shelter. They're literally telling you go to a shelter. You don't know if you're going to die or not, because you don't know tomorrow what's going to be hit. And some of us,
I was going to say, so on a daily basis, you thought about bombings, like it could happen at any moment.
It's a regular part
in the middle
landscape.
of the night.
So
you have, for example, you have the siren.
You had miserable anxiety every day.
Absolutely. So imagine in the middle of the night, let's say 9 o'clock, you have a siren that says no more air strikes. So that's 9 p.m. And you go to bed, and then at 2:30 you hear air, how you call it, and you know, okay, planes are approaching, and you need to get up. And now imagine people who are super afraid. They're jumping out of the beds, they're grabbing their backpacks, they're running down the stairs of the apartment buildings, they're running to the shelter. So
coming to bomb civilians.
Well, we knew, some of us knew, because we were watching CNN and we were watching BBC. So we know at the beginning of the war that, actually not war, but that bombing, that it will be tomahawks used, and they're ballistics. They're going to a specific target, and they have the codes in it. So they have a specific target that will go. So we were we knew what was going on, but it's different once you hear planes. And you know that the planes are actually dropping bombs.
You could actually hear the engines.
Oh,
of the
absolutely.
Oof.
So imagine sleeping and you hear the sirens going on, but you're like,
would you take cover?
Fuck it,
would you take cover?
No, I never went to.
You were like, if it hits, it hits.
Yeah, if I'm fucked, I'm fucked.
I was like,
holy shit, dude.
If I'm destined to die, I would be died. I can be hit by a car. I can be shot by someone outside.
I mean, shit.
That's why I fuck with Dusan, dude. He's like, look, dude, he accepts that some things are out of your hands.
Yeah.
And you must make the best of the situation. Yeah. If you're getting bombed today, you're getting bombed today.
Like when they say that statement,
you control what you can control.
Some things are impossible, and that's okay.
Yeah. You cannot change certain things.
So there's a quote. And you know that I like stories. They tell stories all the time. And quotes, right? There's a quote in a movie, Last Samurai.
Oh, with Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise.
Yes, you remember when he asks him...
That's actually not a bad movie.
Do you? No, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. And people say, well, like, it's about Tom Cruise. No, it's everything but Tom Cruise and an American there. It's all about the Japanese culture. So remember the moment when he says before the battle, the guy, the Yakuza, it's not, the samurai asks him... No, it's not Yakuza, it's a samurai, yeah. So he asks him...
Name-dropping gangs and
yeah, he's like... Do you think that man can change his destiny? And the Tom Cruise replies, I believe that man can do whatever he can until the destiny relieves itself. And I'm like,
damn,
that's about right.
Yeah.
I can go to shelter.
You must ride that line until the line
go to shelter and tomorrow someone will stab me to death.
Yeah.
If it's meant to be, it's
meant to be. You can't live in fear your whole life.
You cannot live in fear all your life. Yeah. You gotta live your life. You gotta face what's in front of you. What you can do, what's in front of you.
Dude.
Look it in the eye, dude.
That's it. Fucking eye. Get a grip.
That's absolutely.
Get a grip.
It's absolutely.
Skidge and I have been talking a lot about that lately. Getting a grip.
Just get a grip, dude.
Just get a grip. Shout out to Yakuza. Shout out to Tom Cruise in Last Samurai.
Yeah.
You spoke a little bit about Tomahawk. You said the word Tomahawk missile. it's my understanding that you kind of had an encounter with a Tomahawk missile.
Oh, yeah.
Can you talk about that?
Wait, you
Absolutely.
actually came in like direct contact with a Tomahawk missile?
Not direct, but I saw.
Oh, I
it.
mean, yeah. Oh, you saw a missile.
I saw.
Can you tell us about that?
Damn.
Absolutely.
Real quick.
So at the beginning of the bombing, they were using just Tomahawks. So for the first 2 weeks, it was just Tomahawks.
Do you know what a Tomahawk is?
Yeah.
Can you explain to anybody who doesn't know what a
So
Tomahawk?
it's a how you call it, ballistic.
Yeah, ballistic. Yeah.
That has coordinates in it,
Yeah.
and it flies low.
Yeah.
So it starts from the high, goes low, goes through the valleys, throughout the terrain that it's known, and hits a specific target that it's programmed to
lethal.
hit.
Yes.
Pretty lethal.
The fact that it navigates
And it's super
low
effective.
and low.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you
Under
can
radar,
launch it
yeah.
from miles and miles
Oh, yeah,
away.
yeah.
The Tomahawks that were launched to Serbia were coming actually from Italian base called Aviano and from the Adriatic Sea. So they were coming from there all the way in the Serbian and Montenegrin territory. I don't want to be wrong to my Montenegrin brothers because they felt it too.
Your brother's out there.
So they were at the beginning they were sent like that. So my father's apartment was in the same block where the main building of the general's office is for the South Command of Serbia.
Okay.
So it was like right in the same block. So we
Powerful target.
Oh yeah,
That's a big. That's
so
a big
of course
target
he
on
was
their
not
map.
there with my grandma. He went to my aunt's house, and we heard on the news that it was hit. So I was like, okay, let me go and see if everything is okay in the apartment. I want to make sure that the windows didn't break, that everything is fine.
How old are you?
I was 20.
Okay.
So I went, and of course, you go by foot, walk about 30 minutes to get to that apartment. And the first thing I noticed is walking towards the apartment building, that building, I don't know how you call it, the command center of the South Serbian Army, the smoke and the everything going
fire.
down, the fire, the rebel, yeah. So the fire is already gone, but you see the smoke, you see the
still a
ruins
cloud
and
of
everything.
smoke.
Yes.
Jesus.
So my father lives on the 8th floor. So I climbed up the 8th floor, of course, by steps because you cannot use the elevator because it's in the middle of the air raid. So there's no elevator. You use the steps,
Christ.
walk up the steps, eight stories high. So I go up and I look down, and the first thing I notice is there's a lot of smoke, and I see something in the building, and I'm like, what the hell is this? So I tried to figure it out, and then when you stop in that moment when you're like, damn, it's a rocket that didn't, the ballistic that didn't
Are you
explode.
fucking kidding me?
There was a fucking rocket sitting there.
Yeah, it didn't explode. And I'm
Is it
like,
smoking still? Like,
no, there's no smoke from it.
How
but
far
there's
away
smoke.
were you from it?
So it's literally like
I
the
guess
corner.
it was the
It's
next day.
So it's the next day. So I'm
Yeah.
literally 150 feet probably away.
Is it big?
Watching. It's big.
And you
it's
knew
not
exactly what it was.
super big. Like when
bigger
you think
than
huge.
this room, or like as long as this room, I guess.
It's probably as long, but when you look at the wide wise, I
terrifying.
cannot tell you.
How
But-
many
but
feet do you
see
think
it.
this room is, Skidgy?
That's probably about 20 feet.
It's not like
20 feet, right?
Yeah. 12 feet.
12.
So it's about
12 to 14.
Yeah.
That's pretty big, dude.
so, but it's mostly the power of. You have to understand it's the power that it's inside.
Oh,
Doesn't
yeah.
matter how big it is.
Oh,
it
yeah,
will make
absolutely,
it.
absolutely.
So
Yeah, I know.
they're not super
It's what's
big
saying,
when
bro.
you're thinking
That-
about
The
it.
smaller, the
Hey,
better.
Dad,
honestly.
I'm coming over.
Yeah.
Okay, son, let me look out the window. Oh, just a
My father
just a
was not
fucking
even there.
Tomahawk missile sitting in a building. That's
Yeah.
because that's just a normal Tuesday.
No, with the,
in fucking Serbia.
He was not even there, and then
Like,
I
Jesus Christ.
saw it, and I was like, I better get the fuck out of this building
Yeah.
because
People are looking at-
I don't know if it's gonna explode or not. I don't know. Later on, I was explained that if it's like that stuck,
dud,
it's
yeah.
the dud. It's not gonna explode. That's it. It's not exploding.
Detonate that entire building.
Yeah, but I'm
That
like,
whole block would have been decimated.
well, not a block because you have to understand when it hits, it's.
Oh, it's a
hitting that and
designed
it's
target.
it's designed target, so it's hitting only inside and ruining that.
Got it.
Later we find out that sometimes tomahawks can make mistakes, and they can hit schools or hospitals.
Yeah, they make
hospital.
Everybody makes mistakes, even Tomahawk missiles apparently.
No, absolutely. So
which is not
that can
good.
happen.
It's a pretty unforgiving mistake, or has the potential to be.
I call my father and I'm like, I'm getting out of this apartment. Everything is fine. Nothing is ruined here. Just want to let you know. And I saw a Tomahawk in it. And he's like, damn. Okay, I'll be there in a second. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, where you coming? Like, stay where you are.
I said there's a missile on your sofa.
He's like, I want to see it.
Are you going to go run up and just extract it from the building? Like,
he's like, I want to see that. I'm like, nah.
No,
stay
Damn,
there.
dude. Like,
what color was it? Black?
It's just like aluminum and like dust.
Silver.
It's like,
okay.
So, you talked about your socioeconomic situation. You grew up poor. You weren't afraid to say it. You love hip hop.
Yep.
Can you tell us about like that your love for hip hop and your association with that?
Well,
or how that came about?
Yeah.
Well, growing up,
I'm not gonna lie, Serbian dude that I met.
But you know a lot
really
about
into the hip hop game and
know a lot about NBA,
basketball.
You know about basketball. Know about a lot of things.
I'm not gonna lie.
well, I'll tell you like
And
this.
American politics.
That's why I came here, because I fell in love with all of that. That it's coming from the United
that's
States.
really cool.
And my friends were telling me like, you don't belong here. You should go to the United States. You watch NBA, you watch NFL. Who the hell watches NFL in soccer dominating world? Like,
right.
What the hell? You know a lot about you're like, know all these hip hop songs. You're like, you know the lyrics. Like, why are you here? You should go there. But my connection with it is more so because of the status that we had, and like growing up and listening to these songs, you can connect with some things that they're saying. And my neighbors were like selling drugs, and they wanted to be these big drug kings, and like, we're gonna be like watching New Jack City, and they're gonna be these kings of New York, and like they're gonna be king of our quarter. And like, I'm coming home, and there's someone on a bench sitting right in front of my building selling dope to someone, and they're like having chains, and they're telling me like, you see this chain?
And they're Serbian.
Yeah, and
That's
I'm like,
it all derives from American culture.
It's like
American
I got
influence.
this because he couldn't pay for his dope, so I took the chain off his neck, and he like all that shit.
Damn.
And then like, you should stay in our block because our block is the best, and you shouldn't go downtown. That's how
you
were.
you were recruited to be in a gang and shit.
Well, not really recruited, because I knew all of them, and they knew me. That I'm like, that ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, maybe
But
recruiting is
like,
not the
it's
right
not
word. But they were like,
okay, why don't you hang out here? Like, why don't you be here with us? Like, why you have to go somewhere? So it's a kind of thing where you associate yourself with a lot of things, and you listen to these songs, and you know, like, the lyrics are basically what you see on the street. On the other hand, when I was
on the other side of the world, though,
Yeah.
what they're talking about is like the ghettos of the projects in New York City, Chicago, L.A.
Yep. And
But
then you
you're
have it.
in-
You're like Compton. I knew more about Compton than I knew about
own
New
country.
Orleans.
oh damn.
So you're listening to all of this,
and you're like,
like,
hey, I'm
So
kind of
wait.
living this type of life too.
yeah,
out here
but it's also
in Serbia.
because you can relate to that, and you have some things that you connect yourself.
You can relate to.
Yeah, because, for example, not having money enough to buy clothes, right? Mm-hmm. So,
Well, a lot of rappers rap about
right?
being poor as shit. Yeah.
But not only that, you're watching on TV, and there's a Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and he's all in all these baggy clothes, like long, the short sleeve are not short sleeve, they're actually up to his elbow and stuff, and like everything is baggy, and these hats are all over. And not having money to buy stuff, I get my clothes from my brother, because when he cannot wear them anymore, he's giving me his clothes, his shirts and his sweatshirts and all that stuff. And he's a 250-pound dude.
Oh shit! So
And I'm
look like
120, 30
you look
pound
like a
dude.
fucking clown.
I was 120. So you basically wear that, and now you have to make the most of it. To make the most of it, you got to relay yourself to something, right? So now you're not someone who's wearing
Baggy
clothes.
You're an artist. You're a rapper.
You're in hip hop.
Yeah.
Oh, that's your culture.
Yeah. Okay.
You relate to that. So you
interesting.
have that all on you, and you're like, okay, I'm cool.
So it wasn't
Right.
just you. Actually, you. It was like a mindset thing.
yes, it's what
Absolutely.
you make of it.
Yeah, you took baggy clothes that made you might look poor, but you took it as I just love the hip hop game. I'm just trying to rep my set. Like, that's all.
I love it, dude.
I'm gonna make the most of it.
That's awesome.
And then you relate to that, and then you have all these songs, and then you're relating to songs, not quite relating to most of them, but some of them, because it says about everything. Because there's a lot of poverty, there's a lot of people who want to be known as for something, and majority of the kids, of course, they chose the route where they're gonna go to crime, and they're gonna go to streets, and going to that, you're gonna relate to some of the gangster rap that is coming in 1991, 2, 3, so on. Yeah. So
it's your perception.
that's kind of you.
I love the perception, man.
That's kind of what you listen to and what you're into.
Yeah.
I remember so many times it would like be in my brother's basement.
Top 3. No particular order. Top 3 rappers. Don't explain why. Just say top 3 rappers.
Damn, bro. Well, Tupac is number 1 for me.
Okay.
Number 2 and 3.
Biggie has to be there.
Okay.
I'm sorry, but
liking this list so far.
Who's the last one?
I love Ludacris. I don't know why. I love Ludacris.
Whoa, that came out of nowhere, dude.
See, I knew it, dude.
I
fucking love Ludacris, dude. I'm not even bullshitting.
I love Ludacris.
The Ludacris
I don't know
album,
why.
Word of mouth. Word of mouth. What's
like,
up, dude? So tight.
So it was.
Shout out.
I don't know, but
Okay,
I liked
shout
everything
out,
that was
dude.
coming more from that West Coast. I loved everything from that part more than I liked the East Coast. I don't know. I kind of relate. But me growing up, there was Ice-T was a big rapper.
Yeah. Well, NWA, right?
Like no. I actually Ice-T, not Ice Cube. Ice-T.
Oh, Ice-T. Sorry, that's my
Ice-T,
fault. That's my
not
fault.
Ice Cube. So we will like.
Yeah, sorry about that.
New Jack City.
Yeah.
like I knew all the lyrics back in the days. I
Jesus.
was like, that's the shit. That's what you listen to. But something about Ludacris that I love. So yeah, you have all of that. You relate yourself to that. You're trying to you don't buy shoes, right? So you cannot go and buy every year a pair of shoes. That's
Brand
a
new
luxury.
Nikes.
No,
Yeah.
Nikes.
Fuck no.
Hell no. My brother bought me my first pair of shoes. It was Reeboks. I remember them. Like it was.
Were they pumped?
Yesterday. It was no. It was like just
Classics.
Classics. It was
Tight.
like I
Love
was
it.
like 15 years old, and he took me and he was like, "We're gonna buy you shoes." I'm like, "What?" They're like, "He choose whatever you want."
Was that such a cool feeling?
Oh my god!
Somebody bought you a new pair of shoes.
Like I was like,
That's love.
That was for my birthday. He's like,
Oh, man,
choose whatever you
don't
want.
have money, dude.
Because you don't have, like,
You-
dude,
you
you're going to
buying
cherish
something?
those
Yeah.
shoes. You love them.
But I'll
You're
tell you like this:
fucking
the
love
shoes I
these
cherished
shoes,
the
dude.
most was the pair of Scottie Pippen shoes that my mother bought me.
I had a pair of Pippins.
Like
Love
when
Scottie Pippen, dude.
I was walking by the store, and my mom and sister were walking, and they were behind me, and I went to this storefront, and I'm looking, and they're passing me by, and I'm still stuck, and I'm looking at it, and my mom is like, "What is he so focused on?" And my sister says, "It's a pair of shoes that he really wants," and she's like, "Okay," and she comes back, and I'm like, "Let's go." I was, I think, 16 or 17. She's like, no, we're going to go inside. I'm like, no, we cannot afford this. She's like, I'm not asking if we can afford it or not. Let's go inside. And we walk in, and she's like, do you have it in the size 8? And they were like, we probably do. So they pull out the size 8.
How
She's
old
like,
were you?
try to. I was 16 or 17.
You were a size 8?
Yeah.
That's small.
Yeah, that's what I'm right now. I'm 8. I never
That's
moved.
small feet, dude.
Yeah, it is.
You're like Tinkerbell. I'm just kidding.
like,
I'm just kidding.
So I tried them on, and I'm like, I'm in freaking love with these shoes.
You felt like Scottie Pippen.
She
Like, I'm
wrote,
fucking-
I kid you not,
Didn't he cheat on his
She
wife?
wrote-
Beat his wife?
10 checks.
I'm sorry?
10 checks. So she can pay it off in next 10 months.
Wow.
I love your mom.
I
dude.
Mom's
stopped.
good.
I was, those shoes were like, you step on me,
I'll
fighting
kill
you.
you.
I'm fighting
You
you.
yeah.
stuff my kicks, motherfucker.
You stuff on my, like, I'm fighting you, yeah.
So, Dusan, you grew up in former Yugoslavia.
Yes.
Can you tell us sort of about like the disintegration of Yugoslavia, the 4 wars?
Like how it got to where we are today.
Because that was a communist country, right?
It was a communist country.
Did you?
It was called Yugoslavia. It didn't start as a communist country. It started as a kingdom. But after Second World War, it became a communist country of 6 republics. They're equal in one country called Yugoslavia. Meaning of it is South Slavs. Yugo is on Serbian South, so South Slavs. And it was a communist country to the ruling of our Marshal Tito, who everyone adored. No matter what they tell you nowadays, everyone loved Tito.
Did you like communism? Were you
I lived in communism for 11 years, and what I've lived through, I don't have anything negative to say about it.
Nothing negative.
Nothing negative to say.
Okay.
Everyone had enough money to go to vacation.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone
good work-life balance.
Yes.
Yeah.
Everyone you have free health, free education. It was only up to you to be successful. Yes, you had to be a part of the party, but looking through democracy now, aren't you supposed to be a part of the party nowadays to be somewhere? Right? To be successful, you got to be with someone. You got to pay money to sponsor someone at least, right? At least in the United States. Mm-hmm. So none of that was negative. Nothing was bad. You can literally sleep in a street with open windows in a car and no one will harm you. Someone might even come and wake you up in a gentle manner, ask you if you want to go to their house, and
not
have
rob
a
you.
sleep, not rob you. So I didn't have negative. You have a big country that had great tourism, a lot of food. You have everything. You literally have everything. And then because of the politics and other factors, it all went to hell slowly.
How many countries are part, or what are now countries? Were
Yeah,
part
what
of
are the six?
Now
What are
it's
the six republics?
six republics were now known as Slovenia, Croatia, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Montenegro, and Northern Macedonia. Okay. Serbia, and nowadays Serbia and a new state inside of Serbia that is independent, which is Kosovo.
So Kosovo is its own entity.
Now it's own country. No,
right.
now.
Okay, it's only governed by itself.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's now basically 7 countries out of 6.
Got it. Branched off.
Yes.
Serbia branched off into one. Yeah.
Yes.
Got it.
So it started off in 1991 with the War of Slovenia, because Slovenia wanted independence, and then the Yugoslavian government didn't want republics going apart and splitting off. They wanted, and then there were some hotheads that thought that we should all still be the same country, even it was clear that someone doesn't want to be with you, so you should just let them go. And that war was the shortest one. It was probably maybe 3 months, 2-3 months. Slovenia claimed independence. Of course, all the Western countries recognized that independence, and that was it. After 3 months, that was the end of that war.
Was it high casualties?
Not a lot of casualties.
Got it.
But then the second war, civilian war, started when Croatia recognized its own independence and the Western countries recognized independence. And then when everything escalated and everything was much, much bigger. And that war lasted for at least 5 years, until 1995, 1996.
Wow.
And it was a chaos.
It was between Serbia and Croatia?
It's between, in that time, Yugoslavia, remaining of Yugoslavia and Croatia. But it was all presented like, and I understand why, that Serbia is leading all of this against Croatian people in Croatia.
Got it.
And it was a total chaos. But little did we know, it's nothing compared what happened in Bosnia.
Is that what happened next?
1992, it was late 1991, the whole hell went loose in Bosnia, which is the country that is all mixed up. You have 3 different religions and 3 different, now I can say 3 different nationalities. fighting amongst each other. But what makes it so different and so terrible is that between those three nations and three religions, you have so many mixed marriages that I cannot even tell you about.
Oh, wow.
So who claims what? Who owns what? Who claims the land? If your father is Serbian, your mother is Croatian, what are you? If your father is Muslim, but your mother is Croatian, what are you?
Oh.
Or vice versa.
Okay.
So it's like all mixed up
Mixed
in this
identity.
one little space.
And everybody's fighting over it.
Yeah,
Everyone is fighting over.
Yeah, if you're fighting,
But
you're two national.
I have to say, the people don't want to fight. It's more so that the politics and the leaders of these nations
to.
are urging them to do so. Because my grandfather and my mother grew up in Mostar. Mostar is a beautiful, beautiful city, and I urge everyone who have a chance to go there, because you will fall in love with that beautiful city. And that's a multi-ethnic city. You have Muslims, you have Croatians, and you have 20%, maybe 10% Serbians. Now, Croatians and Serbians are different not only by nationality, but also by religion. Serbians are Orthodox Christians. Croatians are Catholics.
Right.
So even though it's a Christianity, it's a
They're
different
still different.
denomination. So
Yeah.
we're so many different in so many ways. So my grandfather when he went to Mostar, my mom grew up like this. If it's a Ramadan, you go to a Muslim family, to your neighbors, and you celebrate with them, right? You celebrate this big holiday, this big celebration that they have, right? Of their tradition, of their religion. If it's a Christmas, Catholic Christmas, which is on the 25th, right, of December, you go to your neighbors that are Catholics, they're Croatians. And then when times comes for Orthodox Christmas, which is on the 7th of January, everyone comes to my grandfather's house. So you have this mixture of everyone living together and loving each other, right? And now all of a sudden you have a war. And that's fucking up your brain in so many levels.
Yeah.
Do I trust my neighbor?
Ooh.
Do I trust my spouse?
Ooh.
Maybe I trust neither.
Maybe I trust neither.
Who do you trust?
Even my own friends, because their friends have family, right?
I know one thing, and and I always mention my grandfather, and what my grandfather told me: you trust a person. You don't trust a religion. You don't trust a nationality. You don't trust anything else. If you have faith in a person, that's
their humanity.
That's their humanity. That's your friend.
Because everybody.
You don't
must choose a
care
side.
where they're coming from or what they are. You understand where they're coming from and what they are.
Yeah.
Because if you learn about them, you will appreciate and love them in so many higher level than if you don't.
Absolutely.
So what they did is that these politicians knew about this.
Oh.
So they knew that the
Of course
neighbor
they did.
won't shoot at the neighbor, even that there was instances that
So they
was
used
happening.
that.
And they were using it by recruiting them
To infiltrate.
and sending them completely opposite part of the country in the land that they don't know as welcoming. And there were like tapes and records of this nowadays that they were found. The opposite force would send missiles or shoot or the new recruits coming to the area. Reason is really simple. I get you afraid. If you're afraid for your life, what are you going to do? You're going to shoot back.
Whoa.
So all that chaos was created in a country that was like torn apart, that was in love prior to that.
Yeah, they were like loving their diversity and everything, and then suddenly
Everything just-
I'll give you an example nowadays.
And
Even
it
like
just ate
my
itself.
father is native Macedonian. My mom is Serbian. That's why my last name is different than majority of Serbians. We are same religion, basically same people, as they say. But I'll give you an example of one of several celebrities that a lot of people don't know about. Novak Djokovic,
Yeah.
number one tennis player in the
Serbian.
world. His mom is Croatian.
Oh.
I'll give you another example. Dražen Petrovic. Petro, known as an NBA basketball player that unfortunately died in 1993.
Rest in peace.
His mom is Croatian. His father nationality was Serbian. So
It just sounds like
he played for Croatia. So it's a big mess that someone used.
It's a big fucking mess. You could literally walk into a Starbucks and have all these really rival, angry religions all in one room. But there's nowhere else to go because that's where you all live right on top of each other.
On top of that, you're seeing this craziness that is going on. You're seeing this mass murders there. You're seeing so many. You're taking people. Nationalism sparks so many.
But in three different, it's all each identity had its own flare up. They all participate in the nationalism, and they compete for the king of the hill.
Absolutely,
it's
a Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
ooh,
good plug.
Fighting.
Right, so the third war after the Croatian.
The third war was Bosnian.
Oh, the Bosnian, right?
And then after that, we had a war in Kosovo in 1999.
Ooh, that's the one that got headlines.
So Kosovo was never. No, the headline was Croatia and Bosnia even before that.
Okay.
Kosovo was like just on top of all of that.
Just the sugar, like the cherry on top.
Just to finish it all.
Let's finish it all.
The 4 wars that finally finished Yugoslavia.
We might as well just.
The craziest part of it all is that all of us knew that that's going to happen. And we can do nothing, absolutely nothing about it.
That you're going to go to war with Kosovo.
You're not going in a war with Kosovo. You cannot go in. How are you going to go in a war with a place where you were founded?
Yeah.
Serbia was founded on Kosovo.
Okay.
Serbia as a country in late 11th century was founded on Kosovo. We lost a lot of casualties in Kosovo, stopping Ottoman Empire of going to the Western civilizations because we are so proud and we're not going to let them. So we lost all of our army and became slaves for 500 years in Kosovo, on Kosovo. And now it's changing. Someone will change that country. It's going to become someone else, right? It's going to be this independent country altogether.
So did you guys declare war on Kosovo, or did they declare?
How are you going to declare the war on your own country?
So it was just an internal battle. It was like a civil war.
It's in a civil war. It's like, how are you going to declare war on what? On it's not even Kosovo at that moment was not.
So it's like if Virginia declared war, it like went to battle against other Virginia forces.
Or like
District 4 decides that when they want to go.
It would be like the Loudoun County people going up against the Loudoun County government.
Not Loudoun County. Let's say I'm living in Prince George's County now. Prince George's County is declaring that they want to be independent from Maryland.
Oh, okay. So you're actually fighting your own state.
When I try to explain,
you're fighting your own state to become your own state.
Yes.
Yeah, but it's so small.
Yes, it's super
so that
small.
makes sense. Is why everybody was like overlapping. Wow.
Super small. And that was then the bombing came.
Yeah.
In 1990s. And that last war that happened, and then it ended up, that ended up. But our politicians used us in a most cruel way to have those wars coming.
Speaking of politicians, I'm so glad you brought that up. Mm-hmm. There's one that comes to mind. I might butcher his name, so please correct me.
Let me say it.
Please.
Slobodan Milosevic.
Slobodan Milosevic.
Can you tell us about this gentleman and what he played?
Slobodan Milosevic was a president of Serbia. He was also prime minister of Serbia. He was everything in Serbia. Slobodan Milosevic,
sharp
genius, a freaking genius. Okay. But there's so much. The line between the genius and the lunatic is so small, I believe, that it's crazy, right?
Yeah.
So Slobodan Milosevic was a president of the Republic of Serbia in 1988. He was one of the students of the old communism. And he wanted Yugoslavia to stay and be the same. We all believe that he kind of saw himself as someone who will be after Tito. That people will see as this great leader. Right?
Okay.
The rest of the country didn't agree with that. But there is another guy right there in Croatia that wanted to be known as a guy who will give independence to Croatia. His name is Franjo Tudjman. And those two started bumping heads. And that's how the whole hell went loose. So Slobodan Milosevic was pulling on his side, and he was a leader of Serbia from basically 1988, even though we were still Yugoslavia, he was the president of the republic. But from 1991 till October 5th, 2000, and I know it's October 5th, 2000, because that's when we had the big revolution to take him down. Like, there was more than 1 million people on the streets raging and bringing him down from
Did
the
he
government.
go to... I mean, he was accused of war crimes.
Yes.
Can you talk
Serious
about that?
war, like
Yes.
ethnic cleansing?
Ethnic cleansing, absolutely.
What's that? Give everybody what ethnic cleansing is.
It's basically ethnic cleansing, like it says, is killing everyone that is different ethnicity than your own.
So like a Holocaust.
Like a Holocaust.
And
Genocide.
he was the prime minister of
Genocide.
Serbia.
He was at that time, I think, he was the president because he was constantly switching it. One time he would fix election that he's a president. The next time he's a prime minister. Then he's a president again. And
He's a
all of
king.
that. Like
Yeah.
he's making it so
Right.
that he's always in power. Him and his
Cabinet.
Regime.
cabinet and
Like-
regime of people.
Yeah.
Yes. So
Everybody's
he
got
was
top positions.
he was actually accused of war crime in Croatia, Bosnia, and later in Kosovo. And he went to the
'Cause they were
Hague Tribunal that was formed by United Nations.
It's called the what?
Hague.
Hague.
Yeah, Hague is a city in. I hope I'm pronouncing it right in English. Is a city in Belgium. And there's a prison there and tribunal there where all war criminals from. It was created just for the civil war in Yugoslavia,
Oh wow.
and that people that
They were
were
war criminals. yeah.
criminals were taken there and trying to defend
Lord.
themselves. So he was taken there and he died there in 2000.
Oh, really?
And 5, yes.
He died. How did he die?
Natural causes, I believe,
In the prison.
in a prison.
So-
Heart attack and
He represented himself, right?
Oh, yeah.
At these tribunals.
So he had.
Oh,
You
absolutely.
mean to tell me he had no lawyer?
no lawyer.
Slobodan Milosevic did it himself
He didn't need no lawyer.
against the United Nations.
He didn't had.
Wow.
He didn't need no lawyer.
Really?
He was that smart.
That's smart.
How
He
long
had
did that trial last?
everything in
How
his
long did that
finger.
trial last?
I think he was taken in 2001.
And he finally got charged.
And then no, he was there was never an actual how you say it the
Conviction.
verdict. The verdict was never because he died before the trial was done.
Oh, wait a second. What do you mean he died from natural
I
causes?
think
then?
Yeah.
really think that there was no
Foul play.
verdict.
Oh.
I really don't think. I have to check. But
He
I
died,
believe
right?
that-
But he was
that
still on
no-
trial.
Yes.
So you don't think there might? Do you
I don't think
no?
that they
Okay.
indicted them. Maybe they did. Maybe I'm wrong, but it took a while. And how to understand that mind? Think about, I don't know, who's the biggest villain that has crazy mind that you can think of. I don't know, through, I don't know, books and movies that you can think of. It's freaking genius that it's
He took on an
so
entire-
rotten, so bad that you cannot even, but you cannot, there's no way you can talk to him. He was talking to the best lawyers in the world and he was making them look
silly. Wow.
without anything in
know
front
that.
of him but his notes.
I did not know
He
that.
just has his notes and he would make them look silly.
With this ethnic cleansing, I saw in this kind of, there was a specific, would you call it a concentration camp back then? During this ethnic cleansing, what was that? Jasenovac.
Oh no, that's completely different.
Oh, sorry.
That's World War II.
Okay, what was that?
Jasenovac was a concentration camp during World War II where majority of the Serbian and Gypsy population was kept in and killed by NDH and Nazis. NDH is independent Croatian state in World War II.
Oh,
So-
that's interesting.
Yes. So independent Croatian state was part of
Murdering thousands and
part of fascism, part of Germany, basically.
yeah. Oh, so they were like a direct
Yes, because Yugoslavia didn't want to be part of of the fascism of Nazis at all.
Jesus.
So there were big protests in Belgrade and other big cities, but not in Croatia. So when Hitler saw that, he was like, "Oh, we're gonna crush them." So they bombed us like several times. Interesting fact is, Croatia was not bombed. Because Croatian came out and said, we recognize...
Oh, they associated with the German Nazis.
And they were given...
They sold themselves out, dude.
And they were given the state of independent country.
That's a prime example of like turning your back on your family and getting praised for it.
So that happened, and then
turning in just to get like praise and a higher stature.
And then there were the concentration camps were like rising like crazy all over Serbia.
Oof.
And one was in my hometown.
I think that has to be the most horrific thing I've ever heard.
One of the concentration camp is now a monument in my hometown because they were...
What is it called?
It's just Red Cross. It's called, ironically, it's called Red Cross.
Jesus.
Wow, that is some dark irony.
Yeah,
there.
so it was there. Yeah.
So Serbia, from my understanding and as well as my reading, is a very corrupt place.
Oh, absolutely.
Nowadays.
Nowadays even worse than when I left.
Would you say just corrupt all the way from top to bottom?
Oh, absolutely. Okay. Absolutely.
Is it difficult to get out of the country?
Hard. I was lucky. But I think a lot of my countrymen are not.
How many people do you think want to leave Serbia?
There was
like a consensus.
They did the research, and 80% of the young population wants to leave the country.
Oof. Wow, that's not.
That just goes to show you how
the question is simple: would you, if you would have an opportunity to go somewhere else and live and work, would you? And 80% of young generation says yes.
But they don't get the opportunity.
Right.
Yes. They don't get
How
the
did you get the opportunity?
It presented itself by accident. I just went through my divorce, and my best friend, who was my best man in my wedding in Serbia, he used to live in the United States. And he told me, there's nothing for you here, and you don't belong here. You belong there. You should go to the United States. So why don't you go there? So I applied for visa. I was fortunate enough to get it, and everyone says that I got it real fast because my interview was literally 20 minutes. Well, interviews for others.
What year was this?
That was 2013.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you. I landed in the United States on the 4th of July, 2013.
How much money did you have?
$1,000.
Oof.
Doing pretty well.
Good for you, man.
Doing not
Thank
bad.
you.
Doing not bad.
Thank you.
So, speaking of corruption, you've been a victim of the endemic corruption in Serbia.
Yes.
Can you tell us about this?
Yes.
You were not always doing what you are now, which is you manage a restaurant.
Yes.
And you were also director. You were
I was training director. Yes.
Training director, but you weren't always that. You were a businessman.
No, I used to own the company with my brother back in Serbia, and we were doing furniture. And we were specialized for patio furniture. So patios are big in Europe and in Serbia in general. So you want to have the best patio you can have, the best furniture you can have. It has to look glamorous. It has to look great. So
really, like patio is a status symbol.
Oh, absolutely.
Like the foyer, his living room, family room was okay, but that patio,
we don't give a fuck if you have a TV. Is your patio furniture sick?
That patio was on fleek, dude. Did you see that?
That's what I'm saying.
I'll tell you like this: they were
patio
cafe shops. They're like this room, but they had
great
patio that it's like
triple
5 times of this.
So Serbia's known for their patio furniture.
Because
all right.
Once March hits, like middle of the March hits, the nice weather starts. Everyone wants to sit on a patio.
Yeah.
So when you're watching those fucked up movies and like think about patio furniture because that's what Serbia is about.
Yep, you want to have the glamour.
They want their patio.
Everything wants to be
I did not
beautiful.
know that you guys had such a love and affinity for patio furniture.
Oh, yeah,
but hey, it's
absolutely.
a smart business move. You're like, our people
Listen
love
like this.
patios. Let's make some goddamn furniture so they can
When
sit
you-
out here.
Let's make that be your stature.
When
Yeah.
you Google
That's
some
how we-
pictures,
It's a status symbol, anyways.
Exactly. Fuck it.
listen, if you Google pictures, and even now when you look through the Serbia, you will see a lot of patios. And if you go now to the Serbia, and they're filled with people. One thing that the person asked me.
The thing I don't understand is Serbia is not like a tropical place. So why do they have patios?
That's where you're
concrete
wrong, my
jungle.
friend.
Like-
That's where you're
Okay,
wrong.
so
my
I'm not
friend.
laughing at you. I swear to
No,
God.
no.
Sorry,
That's
we
where
just
you.
don't.
That's where you're wrong.
Okay.
Because we have a great weather
Okay.
from the middle of the March
Because of the
to the
Mediterranean, right?
Yes, to the middle of October, even end of the October. And think about it, it's 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
If you cannot attract people to sit somewhere outside, you're out of business.
Wow.
I'm gonna start vacationing in
If-
Serbia.
Oh, you should. You
I
should.
mean, honestly, I would, dude.
I would.
One of our
I mean,
regulars at the restaurant is going now, and I just reserved the table for him in the restaurant
That's
in Serbia.
awesome.
And he was like, "You guys are crazy." I'm like, "Yeah," but nevertheless, I did that. So you would come in and you would ask. I would like you would say you need this. You wanted to look the current certain way, so we would present you a couple of opportunities, and then we will import the furniture for you, install it, and everything needed. So we were doing that, and we started working on one of our fairs. We connected with one of the biggest companies that it's not from Serbia, and they asked us if we can import some of the furniture and sell it just for them, so they can have the exclusive of that.
Who is this?
It's called Metro, but it's like equivalent to your
Yeah.
Costco here.
So it's basically the Costco of Serbia.
Costco of Serbia.
Gotcha.
Like Costco of Europe.
So they told you, can you sell this for us?
Yes. Can you sell us this, and we will sell it in our stores.
Oh, okay.
We are
They
buying
were
from
buying
you.
it from you.
But no one else can have this. If
So you were
someone
making
comes
your
in,
own furniture, and they were buying it
So
from you.
I'm importing it
Got it.
and then selling it to them.
Oh, okay. I like that.
He's middleman.
Middleman.
I'm a middleman,
Classic,
right?
classic
Because
business middleman.
Good move.
They came in and we had hit this deal, and we were doing great. We were like selling a lot of this stuff to them, and then in 2008 they ordered like 3 containers of these goods, and once it came, the first depression, is that how you call it, when there was the economic crisis
Recession.
hit,
Recession, depression, same shit.
Depression, yeah, same thing.
when it hit, they just said, "Oh, we're not going to buy that from you."
What do you mean?
And I'm like,
How
well,
big was the order?
So they hadn't
like
paid
3
you.
containers, like equivalent to like probably $1 million here.
Oh
Like,
my God.
it's like a lot of shit of
So you
money.
mean to tell me they said we got you?
Yes, we
Put it
they
in
said
order.
we got you. I said okay. We're gonna make the biggest import yet.
You thought you
Of
were
course,
coming up,
you don't
dude.
have all
This is
that
about to be
money.
it.
This is your big break.
I'm like, that's gonna solve
A lot of
us
all of
for
my
next
problems.
5 years. Like we're good.
Oh my God.
We
dude.
good.
you guys are small. You guys are a
Like
small
we're super
business.
small. So
That's
like if I get this, I'm good, right? But of course I tell them like I need to sign a contract. We already have it, but I need it for the specific thing, and because I have to get the credit from the bank, because this is an amount of money that I don't have at this moment, right? Because it's a huge order for me. So I did it. They're like, oh, no problem at all. We get a credit from the bank, we import it, and they say we cannot buy it because everything has to stop. The lady that I was working with, that I was constantly in connection
Contact
with,
with,
she
yeah.
didn't want to answer my phone calls. Whenever
my
I would
God.
go to the store, she would not show up. They would have me waiting there for 4 hours, and she would not accept me. She would not see me. So we were like, okay, finally I get reach of her, and I said, I'm just going to sue. I'm just going to press charges against you.
Of
So
course.
she's
That's
like,
reasonable. You're like,
no,
I'm
it's
going to
like,
sue your fucking ass. We have contracts.
So she says, okay, you go ahead and do that. We do. 2 days later, all the inspections you can think of.
Ooh,
One by one.
Weird.
Showing
One
up
by
at your
one.
place.
Coming up at our office.
Fines start coming out.
fines.
Oh, these motherfuckers.
And I'm like, wait, what are you fining me for? And
it's on regulation code 3.2.
Guys, this is literally
Yeah.
what the guy says to me. You better pay this, because if I start digging, this will be 10 times more.
Now they're starting to get threatening. Oh, dude.
The guy walked in. I'm not kidding you. My brother always tells this story. He walks in, opens up his coat and on like the side to show his badge. And he says, "Can I get a coffee?"
Government official.
Like someone from that inspections and stuff. Sits down. And we start talking. And I'm already pissed. Because like he had the entrance. And my brother said like, get out of the office. Like, because I'm going to go ballistic on this motherfucker. I'm like, he's like, get out of the office. And he tells me later. He said literally to him, to my brother, funny thing, my fridge and my stove broke yesterday. And my brother says, well, that's unfortunate. He's like, yeah, it's really unfortunate for me. How do you think I feel? And my brother says, well, bad. I think I should feel great. And my brother says, okay, did you see any in particular that you like? And he says, yeah, at this and that store, that one and that one. My brother says, okay, cool. Maybe you will get those. And he says, oh, that's fine. That's great. I really enjoy this coffee with you. The conversation ends. He goes out. Tomorrow, we deliver the stove and the fridge to his house.
But it didn't help you.
It didn't help
save
me,
you,
but
it kept the lights on.
Why he did that, you gotta have someone inside. Even if you're paying him, because they will give you heads up what's happening.
So you're saying he was like inside of your... Oh.
So he sold his services to you for a stove and a refrigerator.
Well, that was nothing. It was more than that after that. But
he got
basically, it's like you're paying someone inside of the government
to be like your mole.
So they can give you information.
They relay information to you.
And we got so many times, he was like, just to give you heads up, this and this inspection is coming
this guy,
tomorrow
like
to you.
Said, he presented himself as like an asset. Like he was like...
And he
sold
was.
himself. He sold his services. He said...
Yeah.
I would walk into...
Mercenary, dude.
I would walk into their offices and I would bring some documents that they asked us for. And I would literally walk in and he will be like, what's up? This is my guy.
So you mean to tell me the government shut this down?
There's a corruption
Well,
within a corruption.
this is what happened after that. We get a phone call. And literally people tell us, the lawsuit, you shouldn't do that.
Ooh.
Like in between lines, it was said to us, they mean more to us than you. We don't fucking care about you. But if something goes overboard...
You continue this?
And you continue this, we need them. Because if they don't stay here in Serbia and bring us jobs and blah, blah, blah...
My economy goes down.
So I'm going to go after you.
Yeah, you need to go.
So you understand what's going on and you have to drop everything. There's no fight. That you cannot
You can't fight against a government.
Nope. And that brings
Especially
you
a
down.
corrupt government.
Hell no.
Jesus.
Yep. So basically, we had to struggle for next 3-4 years. Finally, I said, we're struggling well enough. There's not enough money for both of us. So I stepped away from everything, and my brother continued doing it.
The patio business?
Yes, I abandoned it, and a year after that, I came to United States. And I'm happy I did, because I created a life for me here, but...
That was tough.
Oh.
That had to be awful.
It was.
Because you couldn't do anything.
No, there's
nothing you could do.
And think about it like this. You have people that you're paying every day. They work for you. They have families. Your employees have families. You're taking care of them.
That, that's fucked.
You have people that rely on you.
Like, when my wife says that...
And what do we say, dude? Being unreliable is the worst thing in the world.
Like, my wife has an idea for us to have our own company, and I'm going to work really hard to make that dream come true for her.
Really?
And for us.
I love that.
But one thing that always comes back at the back of your mind is that feeling that you go to bed thinking how you're going to make money tomorrow. Not for yourself, but for your employees.
That's a whole other level of anxiety.
They're like relying on you.
Because it's not just your family. You're talking about other people who are relying on you to feed their family.
Yeah, and it's not just
He's like,
it's not those people,
my
it's their family. And it
they don't, and they're
He
just
says,
trying to keep the lights on.
I did my work. I pulled out my way. Where's the money?
Where's my money?
Absolutely.
And you
Because I
can't
have
do anything
mouth
because
to
now
feed.
the government has a strict hold on it.
Absolutely. And you cannot do all of that.
So you guys lost out on $1 million and it fucked you.
Well, we fucked us.
But
real bad.
you
Fucked you real bad.
made
You were doing pretty
made
well
the best
before
of
that,
your
right?
situation, and now you're in
We were doing really great before
you made the
that.
best of your situation. Now you're in the United States.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
We were doing really great before that.
all
We
about
went
perception.
through all that
Perception,
nonsense,
dude.
the 1990s and all that war and all that bombs and
It can look like the most fucking awful day, and you just lost that $1 million.
Sure, my country's being bombed, my street's being bombed, things are going to hell. There's
People
no
are
money,
dying.
but I'm not dead.
absolutely.
There's still an entire world out there.
Absolutely.
I'm
And you
still
fight for-
alive, and
You fight for every little thing.
my world's not ending.
When you go to bed knowing that might not be tomorrow,
Yeah.
when you wake up in the morning knowing that whatever you have to eat is all you have to eat, that instinct inside of you wakes up and you want to fight for every day to be the best day there is.
No matter how shitty.
No
it is.
matter how shit it is.
Because remember, you've been in that shit.
Because you've been there. So waking up, knowing that there's bombs, like bombs exploding right next to you. And I'm saying right next to you, like 30 feet to 50 feet away from you. Experiencing that. Everything else we can do. It's okay. We can make it happen.
So peaches and cream from here on out.
Yeah.
Biscuits and gravy.
Yeah.
Love it, dude.
Love his
The
show,
glass
dude.
is not half empty, it's half
No.
full, and it's half
It's
full.
always
of
half full.
Delicious
If you look at it
American
from the
whiskey.
positive side, people tell me all the time you're always smiling. I'm like, why shouldn't I smile?
Yeah.
Because if I approach it with a grouch, I'm not going to open any door.
No.
And I'm not going to do anything better for me.
Negativity is the quickest
Right?
way.
So you gotta accept
Negativity is
it
the
with a
quickest way to
smile.
depression and sadness, dude.
Do whatever it is. Let's finish on maybe the quote from Tom Cruise, right?
Yeah.
Man does everything they can do within the power until the destiny reveals itself.
Love it.
Amen.
Amen, brother.
Yeah.
Dushan,
Thanks, brother.
thank you for
Thank
everything.
you for having me here.
Bringing a new dynamic to the intangible side.
Did you have a good time, Dushan?
I had a great time. You guys are awesome.
Dude, it was so good to have you.
Yeah, thanks,
Thank you.
man.
For the rest of our audience, guys, this has been a dynamite time, but all good things must come to an end. And our show is no different. Dushan, thank you for joining us today. And guys and girls, as always, thank you for listening.
All right, everybody. Stay frosty, stay sharp, but most importantly, stay intangible.
This show was written and produced by David McFarland and Tyler Skidge. Special thanks to our editor, Charlie Ross. If you want to stay in the loop and not miss out on when the next adventure is happening, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Intangible Adventures, and subscribe to us wherever you listen to podcasts. And if you have an extra moment, please rate us and review us. We would love to hear your feedback about what you think about our show. You can also email us directly at secretrecipe@intangibleadventures.com. As always, thank you for joining us on our latest Intangible Adventures, and we'll see you guys next time.